Abolishing the police department and the death of a Hanceville dispatcher was the direct result of the Hanceville Police Department's negligence.
These officers find themselves on the opposite end of the laws they were sworn to uphold.
5 officers, including the Hanceville police chief, arrested following an extensive probe into the department. Dispatcher Chris Willingham was found dead in his office in August. His cause of death was the toxic effects of fentanyl and other drugs. Crocker says Willingham had access to the evidence room.
Tell me, is it facts or opinions? You be the judge.
You'll have to decide. You'll have to decide. You'll have to decide.
Welcome to another Facts or Opinion where everybody's got a fact and man, everybody's got an opinion. Y'all make sure y'all hit that like button, y'all comment, subscribe. I appreciate everybody showing the love. Now let's get to this right here. Hanceville Police Department, located in Coleman, Alabama, near Coleman, Alabama. Now, this is the craziest story I ever heard. Now, the story is, first of all, grand jury wants to shut the whole police department down. And the reason being, they had a dispatcher, which was, I guess, married to one of the people that worked there, I guess the woman, where this guy ends up ODing in the dispatch office. Well, they come to find out he ended up ODing on like a cocktail of different drugs from, the fentanyl, from all types of stuff. So he ended up dying. Well, they went in there and checked out that there was corruption going on in the jails. The chief of police is behind all this stuff. This is going to be big, pretty major, I think. And on top of that, they had an evidence room. Y'all going to see it. They had an evidence room. It was cut out. I mean, the evidence room on the other side of the wall. On the other side, there was a hole cut out. So the hole was cut out. They would reach in there and use a broom to try to get the drugs and stuff out of the evidence room from the other side of the wall. Man, I can't make this up. So y'all check this out. Y'all tell me what y'all think.
Hanceville Police Department is now being called a criminal enterprise after the chief of police and 4 officers were hauled off in handcuffs, arrested on drug-related charges and tampering with evidence. WAFF 48's Noah Cowell has more on why those officers are considered a threat to public safety.
This investigation started when Chris Willingham was found dead from an overdose while he was on the job at the 911 center in August. We now know that he died with a cocktail of drugs in his system, including fentanyl. As of today, we learned that some of those drugs came right from the Hanceville Police Evidence Room, which has now sparked a massive drug and corruption investigation.
There is a rampant culture of corruption in the Hanceville Police Department, which has recently operated as more of a criminal enterprise than a law enforcement agency.
The Hanceville police chief, 4 of his officers, and an officer's wife are all facing a variety of crimes from felonies to misdemeanors. Eric Kelso is accused of giving Adderall, hydrocodone, and anabolic steroids to 2 fellow officers, Cody Kelso and Jason Wilbanks. Eric and his wife Donna are both charged with drug distribution and conspiracy. Police Chief Jason Marlin is accused of knowing about at least some of these issues and failing to report them.
These officers find themselves on the opposite end of the laws they were sworn to uphold.
In today's news conference, District Attorney Champ Crocker highlighted the lack of security in the evidence room, releasing photos of a massive hole carved out to the room where people had unauthorized access to evidence like drugs. A picture even shows a man using a broomstick to jimmy the door to get inside.
This evidence room was routinely accessed by individuals who were not authorized to do so, going in and out using this stick through the hole in the wall.
Evidence for several cases is now legally tainted and can't be used in trials. The Coleman County Grand Jury recommended the city shut down its police department entirely. If that happens, the Coleman County Sheriff Matt Gentry says his department is ready to step in to help.
We would take over all responsibilities from patrol in that area, investigation in that area, dispatch, and or the jail. Of course, we have the jail here where we run over 400 inmates a day.
The 6 who were charged are currently out on bond. Now, the district attorney said that he won't go into any specifics on what caused Willingham's death, but they do attribute much of it to the lack of security in that evidence room, which Willingham did have access to on the day that he died. Reporting in Coleman County, Noah Cowell, 48 News, on your side.
The grand jury sent down 9 findings and recommendations to the city of Hanceville, which include a rampant culture of corruption, abolishing the police department, and the death of a Hanceville dispatcher was the direct result of the Hanceville Police Department's negligence.
These officers find themselves on the opposite end of the laws they were sworn to uphold.
5 officers, including the Hanceville police chief, arrested following an extensive probe into the department. Dispatcher Chris Willingham was found dead in his office in August. His cause of death was the toxic effects of fentanyl and other drugs. Crocker says Willingham had access to the evidence room.
I would just say that nothing was secure about the evidence room, and when Mr. Willingham was discovered, there was evidence in his office.
Crocker went into detail on how people had access to evidence. It was through this hole in the wall. He says people would use the broomstick to jiggle the door open.
This individual who had the stick is actually sticking his head and upper body into the hole.
Crocker says evidence tampered with includes cases in Hanceville Municipal Court and in state court.
I am not optimistic about the ability to prosecute cases with tampered evidence.
The question remains how many that will be.
We're working on that. One is too many.
Grand jury found the Hanceville Police Department is acting more like a criminal enterprise than law enforcement and a threat to public safety.
The recommendations have been made to the public at large, and then whatever action is taken will be up to the mayor and the council.
We went to Hanceville City Hall to ask the mayor what's being done to correct the corruption. The city's lawyer handed us a statement and answered a few questions, including about the future of the police department.
That's something that will have to be addressed by the council and the mayor at a meeting.
Coleman County Sheriff Matt Gentry says if the police department is disbanded, the sheriff's office would take over. Preparations are underway right now, although no formal request has been made.
We will do what is necessary to protect our citizens in Hanceville, because they're not just citizens of Hanceville, they're citizens of Coleman County.
How is the people of Hanceville supposed to entrust their council and mayor to hire another police chief or more officers?
When something is done, my office, state agencies, sheriff's office are going to be there to assist them. The mayor and the council have pledged their full cooperation with this process going forward, and I take them at their word.
In Hanceville, Megan Scarano, ABC 3340 News.
Not only that, they haven't done nothing yet. They're still on it. What's the investigation? Man, this is corrupted. Like, I ain't never seen nothing like this. But you got to understand, these small towns like that, that's probably been going on for a long time. And like I said again, it took somebody ODing in a dispatch office for them to do the investigation. And then, like they said, when they walked into the jails area, the jails were so unfit, they didn't even understand how they would even run in the jails. Because basically all of them getting high. You got 2 officers. One of them was getting pain pills. I think the other one was getting steroids. Like, what was going on? And then the chief of police around there, he around there pushing all the stuff out the evidence room. And then they said they don't know where, I guess, the fentanyl came from, but they found it in the office. They found a whole bunch of drugs he had up in there. So y'all tell me what y'all think. Have y'all ever seen this? What do y'all think need to happen with this police department? And why is it taking so long? Because obviously they're not doing no patrolling. And if they are, they profiling people, maybe like yourself and like me, to see if they can come up. So they just really setting up traps to come up, to get people, to put them in jail. Probably, you know how many people, charges they got pulled over from out-of-towners to people in the local area. All these charges going to end up getting dropped. I know if I got pulled over now, I'm calling saying, hey, dismiss all my charges. Because they did this under being corrupt. So y'all tell me what y'all think about that. Peace.
Tell me, is it facts or opinions? You be the judge.
You'll have to decide. You'll have to decide. You'll have to decide.